So I think that, the federal government currently has done part of the work with the CDC that we appreciate so much, the guidance that the CDC has provided. But I think that the one thing that has been missing from the federal government has been the additional support that we need for smaller businesses, for families in this time of need, and supports that are supposed to happen at the local levels. Many times municipalities are the ones that have direct access to the families, to the businesses and the local individuals. So aside from all of the supports that the programs that they could be providing to the local sector, I think that the other thing would be making sure that there is guidance and some policies that they can pass on that not necessarily are like a mandate, but that they can give us policy guidance that at the local level then we can tailor to our communities. And I think that that is so vital, especially in a time that the federal government has the experts like Dr. Fauci and individuals that are the subject matter experts to help communities then be able to take what they feel is best. Absolutely. The big thing that I would do is make sure that the first and foremost that our local small businesses, and again, I think that this is my heart of a mayor, having the experience of working with our local businesses one-on-one, understanding their challenges and understanding that our small businesses are not only the backbone of our economy, but also, and most importantly, they're our neighbors, right? So we want to make sure that our neighbors are able to not only keep working, but that the employees that they have are also being employed. So I would love to see these programs have a really big focus on the smaller businesses that are at the local level so that we can help them keep moving our economy forward. But absolutely, very supportive. Like right now, one of the things that we recently had the $1,200 uh, stimulus that individuals received. I think that we all saw where those dollars went. There's families right now that are struggling to pay their rent. There's families that are trying to figure out how they're going to take care of their bills. I think that one of the ways that the federal government can support individuals is also by ensuring that that pool of unemployment is still fortified. I know that there was a lot of controversy with regards to people feeling that there's some individuals that have a nefarious benefit if they were to receive more money than what they were making. But I think that we have to take a look at what are the needs, work with our communities, what are the needs of our local people, and then how do we provide enough support and relief? Because here's what happens: when a family member does not have enough money to pay their rent, guess who's going to suffer? It's going to not only be that person, but it's also going to be the landlord, and it's also going to be the municipality and the utilities when they're not able to make those payments. So if we could figure out what the right formula is of funding that we could provide families through the unemployment program, and if we feel and we hear from our communities that they're still coming short, then we can start talking about a stimulus that can come back for people. But I think that, again, we have to go back to the local to start figuring out what the proper amounts are that we can support our families with, but we cannot leave our families behind. For example, it's called community policing. And it seems to be controversial, and I don't understand why it's controversial, but community policing is the act of making sure that we are able to build relationships in our community. The city of Topeka has been working with our community. We have a program by the Department of Justice called Strengthening Police and Community Relations, in which we go back into the neighborhoods and we start talking to people about what are the issues that are happening in our community. What are things that we could do to start preventing things from occurring? How do we partner with the Big Brothers Big Sisters programs so that our officers are able to start building relationships with our community so that they are not seen so much as enforcers, but also as a guardian? as a person that they can have a relationship with. In the city of Topeka, we have been very proactive with regards to a lot of the things that people are asking for, partnering with mental health organizations. Absolutely, because we understand that our police officers are not mental health professionals. So in the case in which there is a crisis of a mental health, our officers could have somebody by their side that can assist them in this process without our police officers having to do those things. We talk about use of force continuum, which is things that we could do, like making sure that there is a process that we know that we're going to try to de-escalate things before we start using force. And those are the basic things, and you can keep on going. That is what is being called for. I think that what people are calling for is for everybody to be able to feel safe with their police department. The same way that I want anybody to see our police officers and feel very proud when they see them, I want to make sure that everybody in our community feels that way, that they feel safe. That's the whole goal. And when our community feels safe, our police officers feel safe as well. So like right now, in order for me to drive my car, I could get in my car, and if I don't have a license and I don't know how to drive my vehicle, I could get in my vehicle and I can cause some pretty severe damage to somebody else, right? Therefore, there is the expectation that I am going to do some education, that I'm going to practice with my car before I actually get out there and start driving the vehicle. The same thing with a firearm. I think it's absolutely important that before anybody gets their hands on a firearm, they understand the responsibility, how to store it, how to make use of that firearm. And then that we are able to safeguard that there's background checks to ensure that these individuals haven't had a past record of domestic violence, of violent abuse, or anything that shows that they would be a detriment with the possession of the firearm. And I think that anybody that's a responsible gun owner would want to make sure that those safeguards were there, because they would protect the good gun owners that are responsible. The problem that we're having is that I think that we could be a little bit more robust in the education, because we're starting to see suicides of children that maybe a responsible gun owner did not safeguard that firearm, and all of a sudden a child had access to it. Or somebody breaks into a house and is able to find where that firearm is at. And then we have to, as local officials, we had to pick up 111 we found out that there were 111 firearms that were taken from a vehicle. Those are things that should not be happening. So those are the things that I'm really concerned about. It's like, how are we safeguarding that at any point that anybody can get access to a firearm, that there is some sort of check and balance to ensure that the people that are having access to them are safe? I don't. I think that the Affordable Care Act, I think a lot of people don't understand what that is. And I want to make sure that everybody understands that the Affordable Care Act was a cornerstone in ensuring that pre-existing conditions were no longer penalized by insurance companies. There were many families that were not able to get access to insurance because it was prohibited financially to get access to health care if you had a pre-existing condition. What is a pre-existing condition? Pregnancy was a pre-existing condition. Not only pregnancy, cancer, diabetes, so many of the chronic things that we have. Asthma is a pre-existing condition. So repealing the Affordable Health Care Act means that what you're doing in essence is that you're pulling back that protection that our citizens now have. So I will absolutely not support repealing the Affordable Health Care Act, because what it would do is that it would open it back up so that individuals that do have those conditions would have a harder time being able to get access to good health care. I think that voting by mail is a great option. Look, in the state of Kansas, we are very fortunate that you could just ask for a ballot, right? And the ballot will come to you and we don't have an issue. And I think that that is the best thing that we can do. At the same time, making sure that for those individuals who do want to go personally, because there's this feeling that you get every time that you go and vote and you're exercising that right. There's a sense of pride that there is ways that they're working with the counties to ensure that there is enough social distancing, that there is, enough of a way for people to be able to go and exercise that vote in a way that does not impact them because there's longer lines. We're already seeing in Kansas historic turnouts. So I think that knowing that we're expecting a bigger turnout, maybe, opening up on Saturdays. What a novel concept, right? Making sure that we are providing ample space, opening a little bit earlier, staying there a little bit later. For those that want to go face to face, let's just make sure that we have ways to ensure that people are safe, but also providing the mail-in ballot option, which we're very fortunate that we have in Kansas. My commitment to Kansans will not change the same way that I have committed to my city. Is I am here to represent all of you. I am not interested as much in the parties as I am interested in people. My life story is one that is not so much a success for me. It's a testament of what people, when they care about others, do. I've been homeless. I know what it's like to have a chronic condition and not know if I'm going to pay my bills or if I'm going to take care of my health. I'm a single mom, and you know, those are real experiences. Those are real experiences that give me a heart to understand the needs of people. And I am not so much concerned about your party as I am concerned to working across the aisle to make sure that the issues that matter most to Kansans are the ones that are being taken care of. And even if sometimes we don't agree, it is my job to make sure that I'm sitting there and understand you and make time for you. So I will continue doing that, and I will work hard for Kansans.